Because people kept going, when are we going to make another Gettysburg movie? And I'm like, we already have. Everybody lines up, shoots at everybody. I mean, we've already done that. What about the civilians and what they went through? They went through their own battle. Wow, that's a great idea.
Yeah, I think when you understand what it cost to have something, it changes how you value it.
And I think the house needs to be a witness as well. And it was witness to the first day battle,
We've all seen the grand sweeping shots of the high ground. The lines of blue and gray clashing at the peach orchard, the smoke-filled chaos of Devil's Den, and the iconic tragic surge of Pickett's charge. But while the history books focus on the movements of generals and the clatter of musketry, there was another battle happening simultaneously. It was happening behind the heavy oak doors and damp basements and through the frantic eyes of children peering out of their home windows. It was the battle for the town of Gettysburg itself, fought by the civilians who suddenly found the most famous conflict in American history literally on their doorsteps. Today on Talk with History, we are bringing you a very special conversation. While we were at the Gettysburg Film Festival, Jenn and I had the incredible opportunity to sit down with two men who are bringing a fresh, visceral perspective to the Civil War. We're talking with director Bo Brinkman, a man who is no stranger to this battlefield. You might recognize him from his work in the 1993 classic Gettysburg, and who is now directing the upcoming film Gettysburg 1863. Alongside him is actor Samuel Roukin, who you may know as the villainous Captain Simcoe from the hit series Turn, Washington's Spies. In this joint interview alongside our fellow creators from History with Waffles and Salvaging History, we dive deep into why this film chooses to look through the windows of the town's homes rather than just the sights of a rifle. We'll discuss the miracle of finding a 9-year-old lead actress who could carry the emotional weight of a ransacked home, the haunting reality of seeing 160-year-old bloodstains still visible on the floors of local farms in Gettysburg, and why Samuel, a new American himself, found the cost of this earned history so moving. This movie isn't just about July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. It's about the entire year of 1863, the before, the during, and the long, painful aftermath. I am your host, Scott, and today we're stepping off the battlefield and into the homes of Gettysburg with the cast and crew of Gettysburg 1863.
Well, I'll start.
Okay.
I loved the trailer. And the minute it showed, I got teary-eyed because I loved your point of view and your urban warfare, which I haven't seen depicted with Gettysburg before. And I love that because I'm an Iraqi war veteran and I was a helicopter pilot, so I've done a lot of that myself. And to see that from that point of view was really great. And I loved it from the woman point of view. So a lot of my videos here in Gettysburg, I try to take the different lenses and do it from a woman's point of view.
I love it.
You talked about Tilly Pierce.
Yeah.
She was 15 years old, and you use her documentation, but you wanted a 9-year-old. So why were you looking for a younger girl to be depicted?
Because I wanted to, I said earlier, I wanted, like, when her mother explains to her about slavery, it has so much more gravity when you're telling a child.
Sure.
Because they're listening and they wrap their brain around what you're saying because it's foreign to them. Although she grew up in that, she still doesn't get it because she's 9, She still has this child view of the world. I really wanted a young girl that has a different perspective than the two older ones.
Sure.
And there's more raw emotions, I think, with the little kid.
Well, and I saw that too with your point of view, because they're dealing with adult situations.
Yeah.
Soldiers right outside the window, right? Like that's a harsh realization for a child.
Yeah.
And to hear slavery at 9 years old, like it's another harsh realization that you feel like you have to tell them right then. So I liked how you depicted that.
Also, there's a scene where, their house is, ransacked. The rebels come in and they're down in the basement. I wanted a child's, through a child's eyes to experience that with that character all the way through. So that was, I really wanted it like a 9-year-old. I didn't want a 12-year-old.
Yeah.
And I kept saying to the cast member, she's got to be 8, 9 years old, that can also act.
Yeah.
Which,
Yeah.
40 auditions later, we found her.
She's incredible.
But
This young actor is really special.
Stephen Lang did his first scene with her, and he turns around to me, looks at my face, and says, "Where the hell did you find her?"
Yeah.
She's a seasoned pro.
That's awesome.
I'm like, yeah, no kidding. Yeah. She's amazing.
Now, my next question is for you, Samuel. Now, your father,
Yes.
do you think it's easier to portray a father being a father? Or do you think when you're acting and you're not a father, is it hard to capture that until you actually know what that feels like?
It's a really interesting question. I was just starting to think, have I played a father before I was a father? I think I did. Actors are great at pretending to be anyone if they're a good actor. So I don't think it's a necessity. But I will say that there's a shorthand that you have with other parents, right?
Yeah.
Like an understanding. Like, Shannon Lucio, who plays Rebecca, Lieutenant Kelly's wife in this, we're both parents of young kids. And it was very, very easy to drift into this family environment because we both understand what that is. And, I would always say, like, there's the one, you can imagine all of the things, but the one thing that only parents have lived through is that kind of sleep deprivation. Actually, maybe you do in the military, but like that sleep deprivation is a particular flavor of being tired.
Yeah. 100%. And to your point, I used to say it was easier flying combat over Iraq than being a mother. Because I knew where my enemy was and I got 8 hours of crew rest.
Yeah.
Right? When I had little kids, it was like I didn't know where they were coming from and I was exhausted all the
right.
time.
Yeah, wait until they become 16. All of a sudden, you're the enemy. Oh, yeah. It's like, what happened? I used to be the hero. Now I'm the enemy.
Right.
I love that. Well, I'll move on if you guys, and I'll come over. You can go.
All right. So why do we always come back to Gettysburg? What makes this place so powerful and special and important other than the battle to be able to tell these types of stories? There's so many people that come in and out of this town and they come back again and again. Why?
Hey, I was a frequent flyer for 30 years. I discovered it doing rehearsals for, Gettysburg, and I came back every couple of years. It's something about what happened here. If you go onto the battleground, you feel it. I feel it. I kept coming back, and I, got a lot of friends, and then now I live here part-time. It's just something, it's hard to explain. And I noticed that about tourists as well.
Yeah.
Once they come back. A lot of them come back every year, I've met so many that that's what they do now,
Yeah.
They just, every summer, here they are. A lot of return visitors.
Samuel, for yourself, do you have a special story or something that's tied to this battlefield now that you've been here and you've been involved in that role that you can relay to us?
I'm always really moved by cemeteries. So when I was here, I went off for a few hours and just kind of walked around the cemetery here. I think it's connected to why people come back is the human experience and knowing what the humans that were in this specific place went through. It's hard not to be moved by that and to have a reverence for it. And so I love exploring where people are laid to rest and looking at the ages is always a thing. And the plaque, there's so many plaques, you never get around them all in Gettysburg, but it is really fascinating. But for me, it's so that was a really great day when I just walked and walked for hours. I found it very moving. I also, when I walked, obviously there's so many monuments on the battlefield and so spread out, which is why there's a driving tour, but I was on my feet, so I was just walking through some of them. And I looked at it was the vastness of that landscape was something I hadn't quite comprehended. I had the same experience, a similar experience when I went to Normandy.
Yeah.
You know, on the beaches, like until you stand on the beach and you see the depth and where the battlements, you can't get, your brain doesn't comprehend really how brutal that must have been and how exposed you were, and if you made it through that, like how that must affect you for the rest of your life, how you know. And so it's hard not to go to those places and physically stand where those people stood and not be moved by it. So I think Gettysburg, with such a rich history like that, this keeps people coming back. I'm here with my wife, and we've been talking about coming back with our kids very soon because it's like, what a better way to teach history, right, than to
for sure
walk where other humans have walked.
You mentioned being in these places of power, and now that you say you're a new American, essentially, the comment you made about being in these places and understanding and figuring out that this was earned, to me that was a very powerful and moving moment there.
Yeah, I think when you understand what it cost to have something, it changes how you value it. So that's where that came from. Yeah, I'm glad that resonated. Yeah,
I love that
with
too.
me as well. Yeah.
So you also talked about a little bit about how at some point you have to kind of put away the research and just kind of dive into the character. So did you guys ever get any chance to maybe pour over some letters or some primary source material that at least give you a sense of what certain individuals felt like, and to kind of bring a little bit more to the human element to things?
So, like I mentioned, I watched the Ken Burns documentary. I read some stuff. One of the more interesting things was something that I happened across by accident. So when we were in holding at one of the houses, when we were shooting at the Shriver house, there was a photo album in there, and was looking through these photos, and then there were photos of bodies discovered in, like, round the corner, you know, and all of these like photos that could only have been taken by regular people, just, you know, like, you know, who, like, not everybody had a camera, of course, but this, like, it was witnessing, right? And I all through my career, when I've been, I love photography. I think it's incredibly evocative and powerful and helpful, you know, to have images in your head as an actor. And so that was like an accidental bit of research for me that really hit home. Because this was on their doorstep, you know, which is what's so great about looking out through the window into the street. It's like, that's what it was, you know, that's how you saw it. You know?
Right, and you know, have you ever been? Did you saw the attic at the Shriver house, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Nancy, one that kind of rebuilt it and sold it to the Gettysburg History, she had a forensics. Do y'all know about this?
Oh, I know this story.
You know the story?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
She had a guy that did forensics, and they did luminol in there. That attic was a bloodbath. I mean,
you put the black light on it,
it was sprayed everywhere. There were some sharpshooters up there, and they knocked the brick out so they could not be in the window. They still got shot. And there's just blood everywhere. And there's another one at the Daniel Lady. Have y'all been to the Daniel Lady farm?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, did you see the blood imprints? Human print. I mean, like, there's one, you can see the body outline. He's laying on this floor. He's laying on his side, and you can see it. It's there. They did the same thing there. They went in with forensics and sprayed it down. It just, the whole place lit up, you know.
Wow.
And that really gives you, like, this really happened.
Yep.
I mean, wow. It just, and it happened over many, many square miles. I mean, in so many houses and.
Now, on the other hand, in the same holding area, we also found a book that was ghost pictures.
Oh, okay.
So, like, photographs of supposed
Pretty
ghosts,
popular in Gettysburg.
which created no end to joy. So everywhere we went, we ended up shooting into the night, and it got a bit spooky. And we were like, "Is that a ghost?" And it was like a nice little touchstone for us as a family throughout the rest of the shoot. Once we'd seen that book too, so
Well, you never
know what you're going to find.
Oh man, and that was not an industry in the '90s when we were here. That it happened afterwards in the late '90s, I believe, is when the ghost thing came in. But we snuck on the battlefield, drunk as hell one night, me and a bunch of actors. And you know where the sharpshooter was?
Devil's Den?
Devil's Den, the photograph and all that. I laid in that spot, and we got a Ouija board and candles.
Oh, man.
And tried to drum up a ghost.
No joy?
No.
Wasn't like, see, you're trying too hard.
We were just trying too hard.
You had to pretend like, I don't care if you show up or not.
Yeah, I'm definitely not coming now you're trying.
So was this your first time ever in Gettysburg filming this movie? Was this your first time?
It was, yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, it was very cool.
That's neat. And I love that you're doing the mother point of view, the child point of view, and how much they're holding things together, especially with the patriarch gone. How much did you deviate from for your fictional characters, like a real character, but how much did you deviate from the real history to create that story?
It was a kind of in and out. I just had a flow of consciousness when I was writing it after I did the research.
Yeah.
And Chris and I did a lot of research. And she's the one that said, I want you to write something about the aftermath of the civilians, because people kept going, when are we going to make another Gettysburg movie? And I'm like, we already have. Everybody lines up, shoots at everybody. I mean, we've already done that. Sure. And you can't finance it today. There's no way. Sure. So, she brought up a good point, and like, wow, that's a great idea. What about the civilians and what they went through? Mm-hmm. They went through their own battle. And so I wanted to do it from a woman's perspective, because there weren't a lot of men in town, and they were all fighting. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of where it started, through the Shrivers and the Tilly Pierce story. And I just kind of gleaned from that a little bit and got my own ideas.
Sure.
And then I just wrote it.
Now, are you going to depict Jenny Wade? Are you going to pick Elizabeth Thorne? No.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so those are the ones that everyone knows.
Yeah.
So I like that you're going, because so many women don't get their story told.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about Gettysburg. What we do is there's still stories that have to be told.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
There's
so many things that people haven't been discovered yet, or some people. There's a lot of soldiers who were unknown. They couldn't identify them, right? So no one knew what happened to their husband or their father or things like that, and their stories don't get told. So I think it's great that, looking at another point of view. I really think that's great.
Is it true to say that, like, when you're writing something like this, that it's less deviations from truth, but it's taking pieces of truth and feeding them into I
always say there's a grain of truth in everything I write. There's a grain of truth, or otherwise it doesn't feel real.
Yes.
You can tell.
You can tell.
Feel it.
It's manufactured, So I always write with a grain of truth, and so especially with this story,
because they might not have all happened to the one person you're talking about, but they happen to someone. Yeah.
And many at the same time.
Good
same experience. Yeah.
So what went into the decision to feature a lot of the point of view through that window? Was that something you had in mind when you took the project, or that? Because I think
when I just started ruminating it, just thinking about it every day, and I thought, I think the house needs to be a witness as well, not just the girls, but the home.
Yeah.
And it was witness to the first day battle, And I thought, wow, what if we did that through the window, and then the passage of time also through the window?
Yes.
It's very neat. So that was kind of cool. It came out of the universe there. Well,
we're so excited for it, especially 250, coming out this year. It's so great. So we're excited.
Perfect.
It looks great. Yeah.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It was so great to meet you.
You bet. Thank you.
As we wrap up our time here with the interview while we were sitting in Gettysburg, it's hard not to look at the streets differently. Historians have spent years talking about the movements of the 20th Maine or the tragedy of the peach orchard, but after speaking with Bo and Samuel about the witness of the home, it feels just as vital. Whether it's the haunting realization that the Daniel Lady Farm still holds the physical imprints of those who fell there, or the power of seeing a 9-year-old child grapple with the reality of slavery and war, Gettysburg 1863 is bound to remind us that history isn't just something that happened out there on a field. It happened in the kitchens, the attics, and the very hearts of the people who called this town home. Samuel Roukin said it best: when you understand what it costs to have something, it changes how you value it. Standing in Gettysburg among the monuments and the modern-day bustle, that cost feels more tangible than ever. We want to thank Bo Brinkman and Samuel Roukin for giving us a glimpse behind the curtain of this incredible project. Be sure to look for Gettysburg 1863 this fall. It's a film that doesn't just ask you to remember the battle, but to witness the year that changed America forever. For Jenn and our fellow history creators at History with Waffles on YouTube and Salvaging History on Instagram, thanks for listening. We'll see you at the next window into the past. Talk to you next time. This has been a Walk with History production. Talk with History is created and hosted by me, Scott Benny. Episode researched by Jennifer Benny. Check out the show notes for links and references mentioned in this episode. Talk with History is supported by our community at thehistoryroadtrip.com. Our eternal thanks go out to our lifetime members to help keep us going. Thank you to Doug Liberty, Larry Myers, Patrick Benny, Gail Cooper, Christy Coates, Calvin Gifford, Courtney Sanini, Gene Noah, Larry Mitchell, Tommy Anderson, Susan Sulis, Bruce Lynch, Dino Garner, Mark Barrett, Don Kennedy, John Simpson, Amy Lee, and Linda Roberts. Make sure you hit that follow button in that podcast player, and we'll talk to you next time.